Okay, I know. Holy crap, it's Comic-Con weekend. There are a couple trailers that I really want to make videos about, like right now. But I just saw the new Lion King movie after everyone else already got their reviews up. That's what I get for not going to advanced screenings in Los Angeles. But believe me, they are not worth the hassle. The Lion King. So yes, another live-action Disney remake. The third one this year. First we had Dumbo, which I didn't see until weeks after it came out. I actually kind of enjoyed it. We had Aladdin, which and now we have The Lion King, which a lot of people hold really close to the chest as like one of the greatest animated movies ever made. Yeah, not just Disney movies. This is like and it is a classic. It's definitely up there among the best Disney animated movies for me. So we all know the story of The Lion King, right? It's a coming-of-age story revolving around Simba. He is the son of King Mufasa in Pride Rock, but Simba goes through a tragedy and he learns some life lessons and again, you know the story of The Lion King. I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you know it, you know it. And you should know it just from watching the original because again, it's very good. And I heard the bad reviews about this one and I took them to heart, I really did. And it's funny, with this movie, I was actually enjoying it until about halfway through and then I was like, okay, I see what people are talking about. I mean, this remake has a stellar cast. Simba, when he's younger, he's voiced by J.D. McCrary, but when he's older, he's voiced by Donald Glover. I thought they both did a really good job. Nala, as a kid, is voiced by Shahadi Wright Joseph. As an adult, she's voiced by Beyonce. Again, they both do a great job. Now, when it comes to Timon and Pumbaa, I gotta, okay, here we go. Nathan Lane was the voice of Timon in the original. Ernie Sabella was the voice of Pumbaa, and I thought they were fantastic. They were really funny. In this one, we have Billy Eichner as Timon and Seth Rogen as Pumbaa. I thought Seth Rogen, first of all, was just perfect casting for Pumbaa. Just gonna throw that out there. But you know, they're the comic relief. That's what they're supposed to be. And they do a good job in this movie. Some of the jokes didn't really land with me though. I mean, again, this being a remake, they're gonna have some newer jokes, ones that were not in the original. And for some of them, I was like, all right, yeah, that's pretty funny. That's clever. For others, I was like, it didn't quite stick the landing you were going for, at least not with me. Some of their jokes were kind of meta, and I was like, holy crap, they actually went there. I say save the meta humor for the Disney animation movies. You know, like recently, like Zootopia had meta jokes, Moana had meta jokes. I don't think they work in these live action remakes here, even with the comic relief characters. And Scar really let me down in this movie. Man, this is Jafar all over again. I just thought Scar was done better in the original because he had more personality. The Scar in this movie was kind of monotone for a lot of it. Well, actually, I take that back. He had angry and he had really angry. Those were his like two emotions in the entire movie. In the original, Scar had a bit of a sarcastic side. He had wit. He liked to play with his food before he ate it. In this one, he just goes right for the kill. That's the best way I can describe it. And I personally prefer the Scar that plays with his food. Of course, we have James Earl Jones coming back to reprise his role as King Mufasa. And of course, that's a huge plus here because sometimes they know that they got it right the first time. And Mufasa was awesome in this movie. Just whenever he spoke, I felt like he spoke with conviction. You're like, ooh, yeah, Mufasa, that is power. All in all, love the cast in this film. Like the voice acting, I thought was really good. And of course, the visual effects. I mean, again, this is all CG animation, so technically it's not live action at all, but that is the intent, so, you know, that's what people are gonna call it. And yeah, it looked fantastic for the most part. There were actually a couple of points where I was like, that CG could have been touched up a little bit, like on the background plants or something, but it was more good than not, you know? Visually, the environment, it just looked fantastic. It looked realistic, which is what it was going for. So yeah, props to the visual effects department. Now, one of the biggest complaints I've heard about this film is, yeah, most of the characters, their faces don't emote. They don't show emotion at all. And yes, it is true. I was watching a clip online before I saw this movie, and it didn't really bother me that much that the animals don't really show emotion, because I was still enjoying the dialogue. I had fun with the clip. But here's the thing. It's one thing to watch just a little, minute-long clip. It's another thing entirely to watch a almost 2-hour movie with non-emotive faces. Now, at first, they didn't bother me that much because, again, I was enjoying the dialogue and having fun with the remake of one of the best Disney movies. But about halfway through, they did start to bother me. I was like, all right, it's been an hour. I'm seeing lions and warthogs and meerkats and hyenas. You know, they're doing their thing, keeping the same straight face for like a whole hour now. The emotion comes from the voice acting, which again, I thought was pretty good. I'm just saying it would have been better if the external matched. It did get kind of boring. I mean, throughout this entire movie, I was comparing it to the original in my head. I couldn't help it. And that did admittedly compromise my entire experience. But I do like the fact that, yeah, this movie actually copies a lot of scenes from the original, like verbatim, exactly. I feel like not a lot of Disney remakes have done that recently. Like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, like they didn't copy scenes exactly from the original. But with this one, I feel like Jon Favreau knew that people hold Lion King close to the chest, and that if he messes this up, people are not gonna forgive him. So yeah, I was enjoying the scenes that it copied exactly from the movie. It is like the same exact shot, just live action. I thought that was really cool, actually. But then another perspective came into my head while I was watching it, and basically it was saying this is the exact same thing as the original. It's just live action now. But it's really no different from the original, you know? It's like if you're gonna copy it exactly from the original, then why remake it at all? And there's like the never-ending battle, because I know you're gonna get down on me for going, why did they change that? I don't want them to change it. Like when I was talking about Aladdin. And that's it though. That is the whole point. Why are they remaking these movies? There's no pleasing everyone. People will hate you if you change anything. People will hate you if you keep it exactly the same. It's a no-win situation. But personally, I do prefer that they keep it the same. Because Lion King is a great movie, so why change anything? And this movie actually didn't change anything from the original. It didn't add any extra plot. There was like one extra scene that added some elements to the main story, but it didn't add like an extra storyline or anything. But that does lead to another problem I have with the film. Not like the plot or anything, but really the pacing, the flow. Sometimes it felt uneven. Like either a line wasn't said right, like a line in the original took more time to come out, whereas this one they just said the line without any hesitation. And it felt more emotional in the original than it did in this one. Or some scenes in the original were made longer in this one. Like one scene in particular, I felt like it was like 3 times as long as it was in the original. I was like, oh my god, we're still here. And then you think it ends, and then it picks up, it's like, nope, it's still going. I was like, oh my goodness. I get the point of this scene. Can we move on, please? If you've already seen this, I'm pretty sure you know the scene I'm talking about. Alright, now for the music. Yeah, here we go. The music in the original film won all sorts of awards, and rightfully so, because it's one of Disney's best soundtracks of all time. Like, seriously, it is. Hans Zimmer did the score, Elton John and Tim Rice did the songs. It was perfect. And yes, they did all come back for this remake, and the score once again was great, mostly because it's the same stuff. Of course, I wasn't expecting anything different, so yeah, that's all fine. The songs, however, they weren't done as well. At least not in my opinion. I mean, some were done as well. Like Circle of Life I thought was pretty good. Just Can't Wait to Be King I thought was done pretty well. Not visually though. But some of the others, like Be Prepared especially, and even Hakuna Matata to an extent, I was like, no, I'm not feeling it. I just wasn't feeling it. It was not as impactful as it was in the original. And of course there's a new song because all these remakes have a new song. How was it in this movie? It was alright. You know what? Yeah, that's just my overall feeling about this movie. It's just The new song I felt was poorly placed in this movie. Like it didn't come in at the right time. Probably could have done better in some other scene. I mean, I understand that since you got Beyonce in this movie, you want to give her her own song because she's freaking Beyonce. And there are people out there who worship her as a queen. And I would have been down for her having her own song in this movie. Just, you know, at a better time. That's all I'm saying. So all in all, for the new Lion King remake, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. But I walked out going, yeah, it's still not that good. I like the voice acting and the visuals and the score. Those are the best things about the movie for sure. But the pacing felt a little off. Some of the delivery of the lines didn't feel right. Just didn't have that emotional impact that I know the Lion King for having. Like I watched the original just a couple days ago and I was in tears at that scene. You know the scene I'm talking about. I shed a couple tears. This remake, the only real emotion I felt was but I can't say it's not worth seeing because, you know, you do want to see what they do with your childhood movie. And in some cases, it's totally worth it. So for 2019's The Lion King, I will say, wait until this movie's at a discount theater. Then go see it. Or matinee price. You know what I mean. So 2019's Lion King remake. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And yes, like I said, I got some videos to make about some Comic-Con trailers that just dropped, including It Chapter 2 and Cats. And if Marvel's announcement is big enough, then maybe I'll do a video on that, but I don't want to make any promises there. But definitely those trailers though. So those videos are coming. And don't forget to subscribe.